4. Let's see, think on the set.
Yeah.
I'm Alex. I can hear you.
Alex, not Lizette.
Now I can't hear anything.
Can you do a mic check?
Mic check. Today's current temperature is 72 degrees.
And I'm Kristen Escow. Here are today's top stories. One woman is dead.
Dead after a fire destroys a Syracuse school.
And lava the size of a football field is inches away from Hawaiian homes.
And a new plan unveiled yesterday could see some changes to the downtown Syracuse Public Library. I'll tell you how this could affect you and more coming up next. NCC News at 4 starts now.
A new leader has emerged in the Maffei Katko race to Congress.
Republican John Katko has taken control, opening up a 10-point lead against Democratic opponent Dan Maffei. That's our top story. Katko's newfound popularity comes as a surprise to some voters. This is the first poll showing John Katko in the lead. Just 5 weeks ago, Maffei led the Republican candidate by 8 points. The new poll comes from Syracuse.com and Siena College. The Maffei campaign is challenging the poll and has released its own internal poll with Maffei ahead of Katko by 5 points. Support from independent voters and more women is believed to have helped Katko's surge. Voters also indicated that they feel Maffei is leading a more negative campaign, turning many voters off. The two will meet for their third debate tomorrow night at 8.
Police have identified the woman who died after a fire on Syracuse's south side this morning. Police say 52-year-old Robin Washington was found in the home. She was taken to Upstate Medical Center where she was pronounced dead. The house fire started around 12:30 this morning on the 200 block of West Ostrander Avenue. The cause of the fire is still being investigated. Syracuse city workers may be required to live within city limits. The Syracuse Common Council says city workers are taking millions of taxpayer dollars out of the city. Currently, 92% of police, 62% of firefighters, and 50% of sanitation workers do not live in Syracuse. The Common Council says city workers are taking 60 million taxpayer dollars out of the city. The proposal would require newly hired city workers to live within Syracuse city limits. The Common Council says this will be beneficial for the entire community.
And I think that it would change the way the culture is looked at.
The union leaders believe that residents should be able to choose where they live. This is the 4th time the state legislature will vote on the proposal.
Syracuse City Police say crime in the city has decreased. Although police are investigating 2 murders from the weekend, the police department says homicides are down 15% compared to last year.
When you have 2 murders over a weekend, that causes alarm, and rightfully so. So what we do ahead of time is we try to work as hard as we can to make sure that we don't have crimes of that magnitude.
While crime in Syracuse is down, crime among youths is on the rise. 90% of crime in Syracuse neighborhoods is committed by young adults below the age of 16, and many of those crimes occur during the daytime.
Most of the juvenile crime is labeled crimes of opportunity.
Gardino says that when he sees kids walking up and down his block during the school day, he can tell whether they're there to take a walk or to scope out empty homes. Gardino says he says neighbors be aware of what's going on, and leaving lights on at night are ways to help prevent crimes of opportunity.
A former Syracuse University athletic tutor is being summoned to this week's NCAA hearing. Henry Leo Jr. was a writing tutor for Syracuse University football players. The exact date of Leo's involvement with SU are unclear, but they range from the 1990s through the early 2000s. This is the first time the NCAA is investigating academic issues within the football team. The NCAA hearing is nearing the end of its 2-year investigation into SU athletics. The hearing is scheduled for this Thursday and Friday in Indianapolis. Mary joins us live from downtown at the Onondaga County Public Library, where Upstate University may be looking to move some 400 workers. Mary?
Hi, Tanya and Kristen. Yes, I am downtown in Syracuse right now at the Galleries of Syracuse, where the Central Library of the Syracuse Onondaga Public Library is located. I spent my day here earlier today, where yesterday in a meeting it was revealed that there's a plan to renovate and consolidate the library. This could also bring about 400 Upstate Medical University employees to the library, and it should bring a little bit more of an impact to the community.
After 26 years of extensive space, Onondaga County's Central Library is finally making a change. In a plan revealed yesterday, the library on South Salina Street will shed 30,000 square feet in an effort to consolidate and give the library a street-level entrance. This plan would also bring more than 400 Upstate Medical University employees to the downtown area by leasing the library's upper floors. And local residents see the change as a positive.
Sounds like it could be a win-win situation for everybody. The library is already a wonderful resource center, and to bring more jobs to upstate New York and the Syracuse area is always a great thing. So it sounds like a positive to me.
The plan also includes the county leasing parts of the library's first 2 floors from the building's owner and a payment agreement by Upstate. The 3 parts of the plan need to be signed off by the county legislature, Upstate, and the Onondaga Galleries in order to begin renovation. While the plan has received positive remarks so far, some say there could be a downside.
If it's not properly planned, that's the only downside. If they start, finish it. Don't leave it undone or bicker about unnecessary things. Just finish it.
And officials say that all renovations could be finished by May of 2016.
And so, Mary, is there a timeline on when the approval could happen?
They're not quite sure yet. This has to go through a 3-part approval through the Onondaga County legislator, through Upstate, and through the building owners themselves. And once that goes through, while they're not sure when it could start, they do know that the plan, once started, it should be able to be finished by May 2016.
Thank you, Mary. Auburn residents are voting today on a measure to expand the school day. The measure would add an hour and a half to the school day for junior high students. The Auburn School District is eligible for an extended learning time grant, but the grant requires the school day be expanded by 25% for 2 years. If passed, the measure would go into effect for 7th and 8th graders next fall. And the Onondaga County Amphitheater is facing a key vote next Monday after a long debate over how to pay for it. The County Ways and Means Committee narrowly passed a $49.5 million in bonds to cover construction costs yesterday. The county expects the gaming tax revenue collected from Turning Stone Casino will help pay off the project's debt. Some lawmakers have expressed concerns about paying for the amphitheater and the potential effects on taxpayers.
Now we're having some quite warm temperatures for this fall, and Alexandria Lava is out on the weather deck. Are these warm temperatures here to stay, Alex?
Unfortunately, it's not here to stay, Tanya, but yes, it is quite warm today. It may have been a little chilly this morning, but now it's bumped up to about 72 degrees, and you definitely do not need a jacket. As I said, today the temperature is at 72 degrees. Our barometer is around 30 inches. We have 52% humidity and winds. It's actually quite windy today at 12 miles an hour. Comparing this to our records, we had a record high of 83 degrees in 1947 and a low of 19 degrees in 1976. So we're actually almost at our record high at 72 today. The normals are usually at 56, so we're quite above normal for the normal high. And tonight we have chance of we will have thunderstorms with 80% chance of rain, and it'll be quite windy again with 10 to 15 miles per hour of wind, and we will hit a low of 54 degrees. Tomorrow it'll be quite cloudy, and we should not see rain showers, but there's still 20% chance of rain, and we will reach a low of 43 and a high of 51. Back to you, Tanya.
Thank you, Alex.
New details reveal the Washington school gunman's attacks were premeditated.
The gunman lured his victims into the school cafeteria by sending a text message. That story's still ahead.
Yeah, can you stand? Should I stand on the block to match my height with Tanya, or is it not that bad? Stand on the block, all right. Better? All right.
Okay.
Notice how the tallest...
Do they look okay? Tanya's standing on the block.
Oh.
Kristen's standing on the block.
Tallest person in the class is telling the shortest person in the class to stand on the block. That's how it works.
I just think that's how it is.
Yeah. It's ironic.
I don't have my IFB in, Sarah.
Tanya doesn't have an IFB.
15.
Okay.
She's getting ranked right now.
Would you?
As President Obama addresses the nation today about Ebola concerns, Control has issued new guidelines regarding the virus in the U.S., saying those at high risk for Ebola should stay home.
And while the CDC is not requiring mandatory quarantines, healthcare workers who did not wear proper protective clothing while treating Ebola patients in West Africa will not be allowed to use public transportation, go to work outside the home, or attend public gatherings for 21 days.
But some state leaders have praised Governor Andrew Cuomo for issuing different guidelines from the CDC, including mandatory quarantines.
I think the governor and the mayor of New York City have a consensus now that makes sense, and I think they'll move forward in the best way they can to find that happy medium between meeting the needs of the population, but also respecting and protecting the healthcare workers.
The CDC also requires those who did not wear protective clothing while treating Ebola patients to have their temperature and symptoms monitored.
As a nurse and now as someone who has experienced what it's like to be cared for through a life-threatening illness, I am so appreciative and grateful for your exceptional skill, warmth, and care.
And the second person to contract Ebola in the U.S. is now free of the virus.
Amber Vinson thanked the Emory University medical team that treated her after leaving the hospital today. Vinson is one of the nurses who cared for Thomas Eric Duncan in Dallas before he died from the virus. Disturbing new details have emerged regarding Friday's shooting at a Washington State high school that has left 3 people dead.
Police say that the shooter, freshman Jalen Freiberg, sent text messages to the 5 victims, inviting them to sit at the same table in the cafeteria.
We know that the shooter had arranged to meet with friends at the lunch hour on Friday. Witnesses confirmed that the 5 victims were at the table when the shooter opened fire, striking the victims before turning the gun on himself.
3 students remain hospitalized, 2 are in critical condition, but 1 student is in satisfactory condition and has started walking again.
While residents in Hawaii are evacuating as lava approaches their town, they may be facing another threat as well. Lava has been flowing from the Kilauea volcano since it erupted in June.
But now the lava is within 70 yards of the town of Paloa in Hawaii's Big Island. Many of the 950 residents have evacuated their homes, but now thieves are reportedly driving through the town and robbing the abandoned homes.
10 brands of baby wipes have been recalled for containing a bacteria resistant to antibiotics.
Among the brands being recalled are Cuties and Sunny Smiles. New Tuck Disposables of Pennsylvania says wipes distributed before October 21st could contain the bacteria B. cepacia, which poses a risk to those who have weakened immune systems or lung diseases.
The wipes were sold at Walgreens, Sam's Club, Family Dollar, Fred's, and Diapers.com.
U.S. and British forces have officially landed a key base of the Afghan military in one of the largest operations to end combat missions in Afghanistan.
Helmand Base is located in Helmand County and saw some of the bloodiest fights of the 13-year war. The base has been handed over to the Afghan police and army, and the NATO-led international forces will now serve as a supporting role.
International forces are leaving nearly $250 million worth of equipment for the Afghan army. The departure of Helmand marks the removal of all British combat troops from Afghanistan. It is part of the mission to withdraw most of foreign combat troops by the end of the year.
Over 12,000 troops will remain in 2015 to train Afghan police and soldiers, but all troops are expected to be pulled out by 2016.
Hello, I'm John Cantley, and today we're in the city of Kobani on the Syrian-Turkish border.
ISIS has released another video featuring hostage James Cantley. In the video, Cantley claims the key strategic base of city of Kobani is under ISIS control.
The video is over 5 minutes long and portrays Cantley as a reporter in a news story. Cantley is a British photojournalist and has been an ISIS hostage for nearly 2 years.
Coming up next on the news, I'll show you how homelessness in Syracuse is still a problem in the community. On a given night, over 400 homeless people sleep in Syracuse.
On a given night, over 400 homeless people sleep in Syracuse shelters. However, not all of them go there.
NCC News reporter Alexandra Alava looked into community concerns regarding the homeless people that have to live in these public places.
Thank you, Tanya. The Housing and Homeless Coalition of Syracuse and Onondaga County is working on their 10-year plan to end homelessness in Syracuse. However, there are still many people living on the streets. As the annual number of homeless people in Syracuse continues to increase, so does the frustration of local business owners.
A number of civic organizations with good intentions began handing out food, toiletries, underwear, bedding, basic necessities on a daily basis, and the population in the area just it exploded.
With the population increasing, the benches under Highway I-81 and I-690 near Kupperman's business is now a popular hangout and even home for many homeless people.
When I was invited to speak to the Syracuse Common Council, it came out that the police are unable to do anything as far as trespassing goes without the owner of the property's permission. And that property happens to be owned by the state of New York.
After complaints from the community in Kupperman, the city of Syracuse and the state of New York decided that removing the benches is a solution. However, homeless people in the area feel the benches give them a sense of community.
The benches are just a place where we like to gather away from people. Like we get to know people. Like we're not surrounded by people.
Additionally, homeless people in the area do not want to remove the benches because it is also some of their homes.
It would actually be heartbroken because the person that we really know that lives here is actually dying from brain tumor, and he has no place to stay.
Sometimes there just isn't enough shelters to accommodate everybody.
Places would be great. I mean, the shelters are really packed, and you don't really know who you're going to run into in the shelters. And it's one reason that we did live down here.
According to the Coalition for Homeless, 56,987 people are sheltered each night. However, there isn't enough room for homeless people. They use benches in public spaces like the Whitney as a place to live. Business owners are not really bothered by them living there. The problem they have is the panhandling that comes with it.
The homeless folks using my property as a bathroom, panhandling customers, and all sorts of bad things started happening.
The problem is much larger than just the people sleeping on these benches.
We're talking hundreds of people, not just a handful.
The federal government and the city of Syracuse receiving $12.5 million annually for the benefit of the homeless in Syracuse. Hopefully there is a solution for the unsheltered. Another problem is that many homeless people are mentally ill and refuse the proper treatments. Although it may not be in their best interest, it is still a part of their civil liberties.
And coming up, we'll tell you which cars are topping the list of Consumer Reports' annual reliability survey.
And we'll tell you how the sales for the Amazon Fire Phone have been so far. We'll be right back.
Yesterday evening, Apple CEO Tim Cook attended a Wall Street Journal digital conference. He revealed details about Apple's success and gave hints about what's to come. Apple's mobile payment had a strong debut with more than 1 million active credit cards in the first 3 days. Cook also answered one of the many questions about the Apple Watch, battery life, saying that you're going to wind up charging it daily. He also confirmed that the old-school 160-gigabyte iPod Classic won't be manufactured anymore because Apple can't get the parts. Consumer Reports released its latest annual reliability survey, and there are no surprises here. Asian automakers are still the go-to source for reliable cars. Lexus and Toyota took the number 1 and 2 position. Mazda, Kia, Honda were also in the top 10. The report praised both Toyota and its luxury brands Lexus for introducing new technologies slowly on their proven models. The two brands lead in nearly every category they competed in. Fiat was the worst ranked automaker on the list. The Amazon Fire Phone has just been released in the UK, and the online retailer could really use the extra sales. The company is sitting on $83 million worth of phones that it can't seem to sell. Last week's third quarter results revealed a loss of nearly $200 million. The phone was released in July and originally sold for $200, but the price was lowered to 99 cents with a 2-year contract. Some attribute the phone's failing to the fact that Amazon signed exclusively with AT&T in the US. In the UK, contracts will only be available with O2. Now that's all for your technology news. Now back to you, Tanya and Kristen.
Thank you, Amanda. Find out what iconic figure is celebrating a special birthday today. She proves aging with grace can be done.
Yeah, it was nice stuff. Welcome, welcome.
It's embarrassing.
The Statue of Liberty is celebrating her birthday today at 128 years old. She is staying with the trends.
She is often on Twitter retweeting fans and even has a Facebook page with historical facts about herself.
On October 28th, the statue made its debut on the New York harbor. Over 1 million New Yorkers attended the ceremony. The statue is a gift from France, symbolizing the friendship between the two countries.
And that's all for NCC News at 4. Stick around for NCC News at 4:40.